Hey everybody, writer and director Len Kabasinski here of Killer Wolf Films, and with a podcast here kind of centering around the next release that's going to go on to my Patreon campaign. If you're following along, if you're watching this on YouTube, my new YouTube channel, at The Real NK, thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button, do what you're supposed to do there, right? But those that are watching on my Patreon campaign at patreon.com/killerwolffilms, thank you so much. It is the best way to support my works, past, present, and future. Speaking of past, I have been upscaling, if you will, with the help of Matt from the Salty Nerd podcast there. He has been helping me upscale to 4K or 4K upscale some of my older works. So we've had Swamp Zombies 2 that came out in a 4K upscale. I think it looks pretty slick. That came out a few months ago. These are only available on Patreon right now. Swamp Zombies 2 came out. Fist of the Vampire came out May 1st. On a 4K upscale. I think you'll see that going to services like Tubi and things down the road, but not maybe too far down the road. You'll see Fist of the Vampire pop up on Tubi and possibly Amazon and those places. So keep a lookout for that. Next up, however, July 1st will be the next 4K upscale of my older library, if you will, that we're tackling now, and it's going to be Wendigo, Bound by Blood. So at Wendigo, I mean, I get a little flack for this kind of thing because most people, I think, like a creature feature of their Wendigo monsters, or they're used to the Marvel Comics Wendigo, which is a physical creature. In some films, Frostbiter and stuff, which I think was a Trauma film, maybe 35 years ago or so now, something like that. Frostbiter, I believe it was like a deer demon type thing. And I like all that kind of stuff. That's all cool. But I figured when I was tackling Wendigo, I wasn't going to be able to do something like that. So I go more into like it's a malevolent spirit kind of thing that possesses you, and it's not really a physical stand on its own demon kind of monster creature kind of thing. And they tackle that in a film that's pretty cool called Ravenous, again with Guy Pearce in the lead role in it. And again, this is early to mid 90s. We're talking Ravenous probably came out there. So, but in it, it really is about a Wendigo creature, is these cannibals, anyways, I'm not going to ruin it. Just go see the movie. Ravenous is pretty good. I'm sure it's out there on streaming services somewhere out there. So, cool movie. Point being, their Wendigo creature in the film is that of a spirit that's possessing humans, and then humans are basically doing all the bad things, if you will. Sort of like my film Wendigo, on a much more micro-budget indie scale kind of thing. So, I tackled it that way. How it came about is I had just wrapped on a picture called Warriors of the Apocalypse, which then got re-edited into the much better and tighter Apocalypse Female Warriors that was released, 7 years ago in a re-edit kind of thing. Much better version, by the way. Anyways, I had wrapped up that picture. It was kind of exhausting, kind of what I'm going through now with Pact of Vengeance. When I did that, it was physically, mentally exhausting, and you just felt, but back then I'm a little bit younger of a man, and we're talking 18 years ago, well, whatever it was, however long ago it was, 16, 17, whatever it was, a while back. So I got done with, Apocalypse Female Warriors and thought, oh man, this is just kind of was exhausting, but I'm still really energetic about things, and I just want to go forward and get something else done because I know this post-production is going to be a long process to get Apocalypse Female Warriors out there. So I immediately wrote a script I thought was incredibly doable, with a lot of outdoor locations and stuff like that. The thing that was going to be the hard part was we wanted to film in wintertime. We wanted snow and winter and things like that. And we did. We shot Wendigo Bound by Blood in January, I think, something like that. And this would have been 08 or 09, so somewhere in there. So we shot, Wendigo then. We shot at a Boy Scout camp that one of the actresses in the film had access to, and it was not being used in the middle of January, and snow. This is in New York somewhere. I want to say near Chautauqua Lake, I believe, in New York. Very, very, very freezing temperatures during the entire shoot. Most of the principal cast, I guess I could say there might have been 10 to a dozen people, actors, actresses, producers that stayed at these like Boy Scout cabin. And it was a couple cabins put together. One cabin was used strictly for filming. There wasn't heat or anything in it, but it had a big fireplace and things like that in it. So we used that for several scenes in the film. And then there was the actual cabin that had the beds and things like that in it, and that had heat and more electricity, all that kind of stuff. So, but the showers were interesting. You either took a scalding hot shower or no shower for some reason in the cabin situation there. So it was pretty interesting. But that's basically, we stayed at the cabin and basically lived there for, I think it was 5 days, something like that. We were there. So freezing temperatures. It was just, it was a tough shoot, but it was a little bit more relaxed in that aspect, as we had nothing to do and there's not much out where we were, so we had nothing to do but make a movie. So that part I think worked out okay. And then other locations we used, it was kind of just mix and match. There's a brief shower scene in the film, a nude scene for an actress. That was just filmed at my house at the time. And I mean, a bathroom's a bathroom. I mean, we weren't going to find some rustic cabin match bathroom that we were going to use kind of thing that would have fit properly into the story kind of thing. So those things we just shot at my house. Another scene right at the beginning of the movie, one of the more famous, if you will, for micro-budget indie. People have commented on it, reviews and stuff. One scene we shot at the beginning of the movie. My friend's house had a very cabin look to it at the time, so we used his kitchen and things like that, with a guy with an axe in his chest or something at the beginning of the film. But then we have the infamous nude run of the actress that's in the snow and stuff like that. And actually, it was snow that kind of stuck around. It was still cold, but I believe it was probably in the upper 30s to low 40s that day when we filmed the nude run through the snow of Deanna Vassell, the actress that played that role. So yeah, I actually, we didn't know if we'd get snow again and be able to even shoot that properly, but it did snow. This is probably into March or almost April in Northwest PA, those years ago in early 08, 09. But I said, you know what, I'm on my lunch break. Let me grab my camera. Let's go shoot this real quick. And we shot it in like 30 minutes, that sequence where she's running nude through the woods there kind of thing. So that's how these things get done. So yeah, it was shot on my lunch break, and then I went back to work. Yeah, but other times too, it was extremely cold temperatures. We shot outside a barn in one place in Northwest PA. Again, the actress is fully nude and decides to not wear any shoes or socks and wants to legit walk through the snow as she walks away from this other dead body in the scene. And yeah, all legit freezing cold temperatures and just some tough method actors on this one. But again. And I think our total shoot was probably, I bet, 10 days in total, something like that, to get Wendigo done, and then it went right to post-production editing there. But yeah, with Wendigo, I think July might be a Wendigo month here on patreon.com/KillerWolfFilms. So you might see a new retrospective audio commentary come out by me, that kind of thing. So kind of watch for that later in July here. But July 1st, the 4K upscale of Wendigo will be there. So I hope you check it out and enjoy it. For those watching on YouTube, I do think it'll come out to Tubi and places like that down the road, maybe later this summer or something. But as always, which I've done for quite a number of years now on my Patreon, you'll see the works first there for people. So I hope you check it out and enjoy it. Deleted scenes in the picture, yeah, there wasn't really any. Maybe they'll pop up on Patreon as a bonus feature or something. There was a couple of nude bits were cut out actually, and I didn't feel the pressure of really putting a lot of that stuff in a picture like this, though I know it needs to be there. I didn't feel super pressured about all those kinds of elements, only because this was so low budget. It was only filmed on a couple $1,000s, if that kind of thing. So, I didn't feel the pressure to include all that kind of stuff. Certain nude bits were cut off. I had a nude scene that was cut from the picture just for pacing and character purposes. And then Sarah Brooks, who went on to a much bigger role in a film called Skull Forest of mine, kind of comes in, does a little brief sex scene, nude scene there. That stayed in the picture. That kind of stuff, but maybe more extended stuff in those kind of deleted scenes will come out. But it was more stuff in Wendigo, right? It was like nude scenes and stuff that were trimmed a little bit from the pictures. They either didn't fit, or some of the lighting was off and it was really hard to color correct them or make them look good kind of thing. And I decided to cut them. But that is a feature if people want to see the deleted scenes, those kinds of things from Wendigo. Maybe I'll get that together then, and we'll try to get that out in July here after the 4K upscale releases and that kind of stuff. The commentary comes out, those kinds of things, as I'm sure you're going to hear about, those kinds of things and how they were done. But distribution of Wendigo, yeah, again, going back, I probably should have included more of the nude scenes I mentioned. I cut. Who knows what that would have done in distribution? I don't know. Maybe nothing. But I signed Wendigo Bound by Blood, which was changed, flipped it around to Bound by Blood Wendigo, because in VOD Libraries, the distributor, which was the old Brain Damage Films, or one of their subsidiaries, Midnight Releasing, maybe might have been the ones that technically put out Wendigo Bound by Blood there, so they wanted to switch around the title and put B at the start of it. So yeah, whatever, that was cool. But yeah, they put it out there. Brain Damage Films or Midnight Releasing. It did get into video stores, that kind of thing. Went into a compilation set at Walmart, made its rounds like a lot of the other pictures did that they did. Again, it was on one of those compilations, those 4-packs or 8-packs that I believe Mill Creek put them out, or something like that. But they're really, really compressed. Where usually, like my Curse of the Wolf copy that went on one of their compilation sets is really, really bad. It's really compressed and dark and just not cool looking. So everybody's like, man, your lighting sucks so bad in that picture, Len. I'm like, yeah, but maybe it's not as bad. Maybe it doesn't suck as bad as you think, maybe. But this is a really compressed copy of this film. And Wendigo got that treatment on that box set. I forget which one it was on, but it was on one of them. And I think that was the only one. But it came out in a single release. It's like Family Video, which was a chain of video stores, especially in Northwest PA here, and into Ohio and stuff. Family Video was a thing. That's long gone. But they all went out of business within, I don't know, the last 2, 3, 4 years, something like that. But yeah, it was there, and it went in their magazine where it had this little video caption and cool little piece of material there to just put in the archives of my folders or whatever. They're sitting right over there. But so it got that kind of treatment. I'm really not sure if it ever went to like Amazon and things like that. I guess I never bothered to look it up really, but I doubt it, especially when the crackdown happened and then Amazon Prime started getting rid of a lot of their micro-budget independent work. I think Tubi will be pretty receptive to putting this in their library. I think there's a lot worse looking films out there than Wendigo Bound by Blood, so hopefully you'll see it in those avenues and get a little bit more exposure to it. I'm really not sure what the reception will be. Like I said, people think Wendigo and they think this creature feature, and they'll be disappointed if that's what they're looking for in watching my version of a Wendigo film. So anyways, look for it in those places soon. But like I said, Patreon, July 1st. Chime in on my YouTube channel or chime in on Patreon and let me know what you think of that stuff. And we'll go from there. But coming out July 1st, check it out. Wendigo Bound by Blood, 4K upscale of it, only on patreon.com/KillerWolfFilms. The best way to support my works, past, present, and future. I hope you decide to check it out.